Coming up on Dispatch tonight, your layout photos, the question of the week, a glance back at Saturday's layout update, and a big shout out. All of that is coming right up. Good evening. Welcome to Dispatch, the weekly variety show for model railroaders. I'm Roy Smith, your dispatcher. I want to welcome you who are here in the studio audience tonight. Thank you for hanging out with me on Christmas Eve. And to all of you out there on YouTube, I want to thank you for letting me share the hobby of model railroading with you. A very Merry Christmas to all of you. Well, we've got another great show lined up for you, so don't go away. We'll be right back after this brief message. On this channel, we share the world's greatest hobby with you. In Dispatch every Tuesday night, and layout updates every Saturday morning. Right here. Don't miss out. Be sure to subscribe. Okay, as I said, tonight's show features your layout photos, the question of the week, a glance back at Saturday's layout update, and a big shout out. And later on in this video, you will see a train running on my layout for Christmas. First up, your layout photos. Once again, many of you have posted photos of your layouts this week in a Facebook group called the N-Scale Union Pacific Evanston Subdivision Group. As always, I have brought your photos over here to Dispatch to share with everyone during the show. And here they are. Now, when Dispatch ends tonight, I want you to go over to the Facebook group, join the group, and post a photo of your layout there. Your photo lets us see what you're doing on your layout. It doesn't matter what scale you model in, and you can even post photos of your club's layout. I will put a link down below in the description to this video that will take you to the Facebook group where you can post your photos. When you see this photo of Echo Canyon on my layout, you will know you're at the right place. Now, next up on tonight's show, the question of the week. Our question for this week is, what do you think is the single biggest mistake that newcomers to the hobby make? Here's how you responded to the question. Many of you said that a lack of adequate planning before beginning layout construction is the biggest mistake that many newcomers make. Here's the advice you offered to them. You told them to slow down. There's a lot to learn, especially at first. When you're in a hurry, you tend to make mistakes or wrong choices. Do some armchair model railroading first to learn how others in the hobby do things and to learn how real railroads operate. And you told them to make sure their track work and wiring work flawlessly before moving on to other tasks such as scenery work. Many of you said that trying to build a layout that is too big or too complicated is the biggest mistake that many newcomers make. A layout that is too big or too complicated can become overwhelming and a maintenance nightmare later on. You encourage newcomers to start out small, keep it simple, and then expand later on over time. You recommended a modular or sectional approach to building a layout that can be easily expanded later on. Third, a number of you said that newcomers often fail to buy high-quality equipment. Cheap or used equipment often fails to perform well, and that can lead to frustration, disappointment, and even abandonment of the hobby. Fourth, many of you said that trying to cram too much into the available space is the biggest mistake that newcomers make, especially too much track or too many structures. And then scenery has to be crammed into an already overcrowded layout, resulting in scenery that doesn't look very realistic. Fifth, you said that trying to do too much at the same time is the biggest mistake. Everything needs to be done in the proper sequence, you said. And sixth, procrastinating. You said that newcomers often spend too much time thinking about their dream layout rather than just getting busy and building it. You encouraged newcomers at least to lay a little track to run some trains on right away while building the rest of the layout. These were the mistakes that you said newcomers to the hobby often make. At the same time, a few of you pointed out that newcomers don't really make mistakes. Rather, they make choices and learn from these choices as they go along. You told newcomers to be prepared to make mistakes because that's how they learn and then can make better choices. I'd like to thank all of you who responded to this week's question. I'm sure us old-timers in the hobby have made some of these same mistakes as well. And hopefully, your responses to the question will help newcomers to the hobby. Now, I'd like to propose a question for the coming week, and that question is, which is the one topic that you would like to see more videos about on this channel? Is it track planning, bench work, track work, wiring, ballasting, structures, weathering, scenery, running trains, operations, layout updates, commentaries about the hobby, or something else? This is a long list, I know, so feel free to hit the pause button long enough to carefully study it. I encourage you to post your responses to this question in the comments section down below, and then I will share your responses right here on Dispatch next week. Remember, the question for the coming week is, which is the one topic you would like to see more videos about on this channel? Now let's take a brief look back at last Saturday's layout update. This past Saturday, I uploaded a video called Progress at Granger. In the video, I showed you the progress I made in the renovation of the Evanston and Granger area of my layout during the week. I showed you how I installed feeder wires, paved a road, and finished cutting and carving a hill in that area. Let's take a look at a bit of the video. Now, first up, I'm going to show you how I moved those drop feeders that have been lying there in the middle of the renovation of this area of my layout. You can see them here in the center of Granger Junction, where I put them initially just to power up the track quickly. To move them, I begin by marking the spots where I want to move them to. And there you can see that I've done it, and the feeder wires that you could see before are no longer visible. Next task, the highway. Okay, I'm going to paint the road surface with this asphalt top coat from Woodland Scenics. Now the third and final task today. I'm going to carve that hill that you saw me make last week using layers of white styrofoam as a scenery base. Okay, the spackling paste has had time to set up. It is still somewhat soft. This is a good time to carve terrain and rock formations into it before it becomes completely dry. I hope you will find the techniques suggested in this video to be useful when working on your own layout. If you still haven't seen it, I will put a link to it down below. Go watch it after dispatch ends tonight. And now it's time for tonight's big shout out. And tonight's big shout out goes to our friends at Back on Track, Shannon, Steve, Brian, and Simon, and their Saturday morning live chat. I would like to thank these terrific guys right here on Dispatch for inviting me to appear as a guest on the show last Saturday. During Saturday's show, we talked about scenery techniques. I can tell you it was tons of fun. Let's go over and take a look at a bit of the show right now.
Let's welcome today we have Brian, we have Shannon, we have Steve Arnold, me, myself, Simon Saucy, and our special guest today, Roy Smith, is joining us to help us do the chat and have an awesome show. So continuing on with the series that we've done over the past few weeks, we're talking about scenery, as that is the most detailed part of your layout and probably the most funnest part of your layout. So that's today's topic.
We're also gonna focus on other little aspects, around the whole scenery side of things, and maybe touch on wiring and things you can do and whatnot.
So I just want to personally thank you for doing this.
I'm excited to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Oh, I just want to thank Roy so much for being here with us today, and more importantly for all the help that he's been throughout the course of our growing up a little bit. He's been supportive on his channel. He's been supportive in the chat. He's been supportive coming on today.
When you're doing your track plan, also be thinking of scenery, because really what often happens is we model railroaders add the scenery onto our layouts as kind of an afterthought. And so sometimes the track work and the scenery don't look very well together because we haven't thought about the scenery as part of the track plan. Okay, you've had a chance to see a bit of Saturday's live chat right here on Dispatch tonight. Now, I want you to go over there and watch the rest of it for yourself, and don't forget to subscribe while you're over there. I will put a link to it down below. And be sure to join the live chat every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Now, here's that Christmas train I promised you. 844 at the head of an eastbound excursion train passing through Echo Canyon with 1943 in consist to provide braking power as needed. I hope you will join me again right here this coming Saturday morning when I will show you the continuing progress I am making in the renovation of the Evanston and Granger area of my layout. In the meantime, don't forget to respond to the question for the coming week. What is the one topic you would like to see more videos about on this channel? I'd like to thank all of you here in the studio audience tonight. Thank you for joining me. There will be coffee and donuts right after the show. I hope you like the Christmas decorations. My wife did the decorating, not me. I'm too busy working on my layout. And to all of you out there on YouTube, thank you for joining me here on Dispatch tonight. A very Merry Christmas to all of you. I hope Santa brings you all of the model train stuff you want for Christmas. I wonder if I should return Santa's hat tonight. He may not leave me any train stuff for Christmas if I don't. Well, the fun doesn't end now. Just click over here to watch more videos. I'm Roy Smith. Until next time, happy railroading.